All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Dark, Season 1, Episode 9.
Okay.
All right.
Last episode was a bit...
Last episode was terrifying.
It was heavy.
Yeah.
It was impactful.
Why does a man murder?
Yeah.
Oh my god. We found out. Found out.
To save his kid, his brother. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the primary reasons, other than the the nasty evil ones.
Right, and yet, oh hey, that didn't actually change anything. In fact, that's what happened the entire time. And with time from the previous recording and distance to be able to be a bit less shooketh, I feel like I have a better handle of the time travel that the show is positing currently. With hey, you're not changing anything because there's a set timeline where all the stuff happens. The fact that you somehow broke the rules and are here when normally you'd be here, that's fine, but that doesn't actually change anything because that's just what happened, right?
Right,
because time doesn't exist and all that stuff.
Yeah, we are in a very strange setup here where, as far as we are concerned right now, the show is just unveiling to us what has kind of already happened.
Right.
And there is no beginning or end at this point until we get into some very, crazy shit.
But as a result of that, future Jonas, take heart, because that means, no, there's no rules that you can't change anything.
Exactly.
It's just do all the stuff that you want to do, and, if you know certain things that do happen in the future, okay, that might make it a little complicated, but for anything that you don't know, that's just go do stuff.
Now, the fun problem with that is then there's other time travelers. So it's, again, the thing of you might not know something, but they would definitely know about it.
And that's where it gets weird from a narrative standpoint, because then it's the...
But that's what's so exciting is that I feel like this season will end with time travelers being like, okay, let's do this. Let's work together. Like that's where you then set apart this story from the just contemporaries with the single group or one time traveler with companions.
Sure.
It's the
or everything is completely and entirely set in stone, and now we're just going to basically unveil the painting. But
big deal though is where and when is Helga? Because Helga did not go to the 50s,
so
which
we
means
can assume
most
he probably
likely
went to the 80s.
Most likely in the 80s.
If he's not, then that's
very suspect.
That's very interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's pretty much guaranteed is in the 80s, which means he has, at the very least, probably enough knowledge of what's going on there and has some things specifically that he wants to change.
Right.
Because this is the most lucid we've ever seen him. But that means, I will say, I'm extremely worried because he in some ways doesn't have an Ulrich or what have you to protect him. Because in a funny way.
Right, yeah. Oh, no, yeah, absolutely.
Funny way, Ulrich would actually be someone that would make him more impotent.
Right,
in terms of
they
what
would be
he can
of
do.
the same accord if they went back into the same timeline, because he'd be like, you did whatever, and he'd be like, so you see how we're in the past right now, right?
Right.
Oh, right, I want to stop this.
They would be able to
I want
talk.
to stop this too. Okay, did we just become best
there
friends?
might be some punching near and holding up next to a tree or something.
Right,
but,
and okay, I will strangle you if you don't. It's okay, but...
Right, but that's the situation.
But given how the previous went and that the actions that Ulrich took just made all this stuff happen, I'm worried that Helga will not be coming back from the 80s.
Yeah, me too.
And that it's like, oh, sorry, you go back in time to try and change things, but you're basically just a senile old man back then, right? So no one's, it's, shit could get wild.
It could get really, really wild. But Jonas is, kind of putting all this down.
Right.
If we go back to 2019, we had some big conversations that might have set some things in motion. We had a coat left behind. There's still some things to follow up on in the 50s, and there's some family mingling things that also need to be followed up on too. So I don't know if this episode needs to follow up on the 50s stuff. I do think it needs to.
There's a lot of material if it wanted to, though.
Yes, I do think it needs to take us to wherever Helga is.
Oh, for sure.
Because Helga is in a lot of ways kind of what's been the anchor of the weirdness this season.
Right.
He is the one that should have the most memory and knowledge in 2019 of what's been going on, but he's also been locked away from explaining all that because of his condition.
You know what, though?
Yeah.
I think there's a very good chance that we won't see the Helga stuff. Here's why.
Saving it for the finale?
Well, not even that.
Okay.
They could, yeah. But the stuff that we've seen thus far in the show is our limited perspective that we've gotten with season 1.
Right.
But Helge, in the present, will have memories of also other stuff that we may not have been shown yet that he's done leading up to this point. And so, if maybe they don't want to go into some of the other things that he would then try to avoid... Or change, then maybe they just don't show that.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
Seit jeher rätselt der Mensch über seine Herkunft,
nice.
Seine Entstehung.
Nice.
Ein Produkt der Evolution.
Okay.
Könnten wir das Gestern und das Morgen gleichzeitig sehen? Den Ursprung.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was that our first time seeing...
Woher kommt er? Was treibt ihn an? Was ist seine Bestimmung?
Oh. Okay. All right. We're going to need to go through that frame by frame before we go into the discussion.
I think the main one was just Bartosz's dad. There's the machine. Everything is now. Okay. Everything, everywhere, all at once. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Let's follow up in the 50s.
Die Jungen, die sie gefunden haben auf der Baustelle.
Right.
Meinst du, einer hat das Gleiche mit ihm gemacht? Oder vielleicht habe ich ihn zu sehr geschimpft wegen der Hose?
Oh.
I mean, yes, you did, but that's, not what caused it.
Ging weg.
God.
Wo willst du hin?
Zur Polizei.
Yeah. It's really good subtle acting because we'd seen her so cold and so emotionless in the previous episode. So to see what she looks like when she's scared and sad.
Like truly shaken.
Yeah.
Speaking of someone shaken.
Speaking of which, man of the hour.
You can still feel him, right? Under those hands.
Er hat gesagt, sein Sohn ist verschwunden. Er wollte wissen, ob eines der toten Kinder vielleicht sein Junge ist.
Was für ein Mal.
Ich weiß nicht, aber...
He was dressed very strange.
Ich habe vom Doppler gefragt.
Oh.
Sag dem Kollegen Bescheid und gib eine Fahndung raus. Kein Wort zum Doppler.
Cool.
Fun. This could also set up the Egon that ends up being more incompetent, is that he ends up being focused on an impossible case,
Sure.
Dass ihr Sohn verschwunden sei.
Ja, sag gestern.
Well, I imagine a divorce would also do that.
Tiedemann, ich will, dass Sie meinen Jungen wiederfinden. Koste es, was es wolle. Alles andere ist mir gleich. Das Kernkraftwerk. Alles.
Damn.
Okay.
Aber bringen Sie mir meinen Sohn zurück.
Well, this is going to be fun because in terms of this town's potential history here, this might be the first and only ever kid that was attacked, stolen, kidnapped, found. Right. But it was actually found.
Warum seid ihr weg von da, wo ihr herkommt? Seid ihr Bankräuber auf der Flucht?
Meine Mutter wollte eine Veränderung.
Okay.
Deine Mutter ist eine sehr schöne Frau. Ich habe noch nie jemanden gesehen, der so elegant ist.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see you by yourself. Oh,
Ich fühle mich,
not
als
by
wenn ich bei der
yourself.
Königin von England zum Tee eingeladen wäre.
Dreh dich mal.
Oh, gotta zip up the back.
Do you want a makeover already?
Was hat denn dein Mann beruflich gemacht? Er war Pfarrer. Aber ich kann nicht sagen, dass er ein Mann vom Glauben war. Misst du ihn sehr? Er war kein guter Mensch.
Oh.
Dich frei.
Ich kann das nicht annehmen. Ich zieh das lieber wieder aus.
Ich habe zu Gott gebetet, dass er das Kind wegmacht.
Oh.
Als es da war, habe ich jeden Tag gebetet, dass ihm etwas zustößt. Weil es vielleicht nicht...
Oh.
Es ist in meinem Kopf. Jeden Tag. Ich komme nicht davon los.
Here too, just...
wenn es nicht Gottes Hand ist. Wenn es die Hand des Teufels ist.
Gott hat mich zu Ihnen geführt. Ist es nicht so? Den Menschen, denen wir begegnen wir nicht aus
You would say that, wouldn't you?
Ja.
Ist vor mir einen Tisch im Angesicht meiner Feinde. Du salbest mein Haupt mit Öl und schenkest mir voll ein.
I love this scene.
Yeah, surely your goodness, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Und ich
From
werde
before
bleiben im
and
Hause
after.
des Herrn. Immer da.
Forever.
No way,
Oh
he finds
my
him?
God.
No way!
He's covered in blood.
Oh my God.
He's younger than you.
Uh-huh.
Rick. He's gonna catch up.
Okay,
And
because he knows this area better.
Well,
And,
no, they both know this area.
right, but he's going for the caves. Oh shit! Oh my God!
Hey, no! Was haben Sie mit den beiden Jungen auf der Baustelle gemacht?
Wait.
Wo ist Helge? Das waren auch Sie. Die beiden Jungs? Das kann nicht sein. Die dürfen da gar nicht sein. Ich hab's geändert. Was haben Sie geändert? Den Lauf der Zeit. Helge ist tot. Die Knie! Ich hab's doch geändert. Komm hoch! Ich hab's doch geändert.
Oh my God.
Yeah. When are we now?
Yeah. Bank robbers.
Oh, is this
Oh, Alexander.
yeah, this might be young Alexander, maybe.
Okay. All right, yeah, 86. Let's go.
Okay. Whoa.
Du und Ulrich?
Was soll mit uns sein?
Ich weiß nicht, aber deine Mutter dreht doch bestimmt voll durch, wenn ihr euch jetzt weiter seht.
Das ist mir egal. Niemand stellt sich zwischen uns. Das ist Liebe, weißt du? Die ist stärker als Hass. Aber davon verstehst du ja noch nichts.
Wow. Wow.
Vielleicht war es Regina. Ich meine, der Tiedemann ist ja ihr Großvater. Man sieht sich.
Damn, she's. Oh, she's
Yeah.
so good. Oh.
Ich weiß, dass du Dreck am Stecken hast.
Wow.
Dass du mit all dem was zu tun hast. Das habe ich im Blut.
Vielleicht ist auch Krebs. Sollten Sie mal checken lassen.
It's so sad to think about the cycles of things too.
Yeah.
The idea that he's chasing again the same man, but
Right.
younger version of him that he chased when he was
Oh,
in his
yeah.
younger time, when the guy
Oh, yeah.
time traveled back into that point.
Ich will, dass du dich von unserer Familie fernhältst. Und ich werde dafür sorgen, dass du von Mats Fall abgezogen wirst.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're getting to see this.
Yeah. We kind of saw fragments,
Right.
but we didn't really follow
But
up
let's
on
see
it.
more.
Yeah.
Especially given that that's her in the bunker.
Because basically she learns the truth probably because of how connected she is to everything. with the
Right.
nuclear
Because we
power
saw
plant.
her, I believe, finding all the waste.
Yes.
Which is like, okay, yeah, company secret, but fairly regular company secret, right?
Right, but it's probably just the scale of how much it is
Sure.
that it's probably being is. That's at this distance, too.
Yeah, and those are probably lead-lined barrels. Hang on.
The dog
went through time.
Wow! The dog went to the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And that's how she gets the confirmation. But
oh my god!
Like, what happened to my dog? Oh, well.
Tiedemann! Scheiß Brillenschlange. Ich weiß, was du gemacht hast. Solltest Rache sein für den Sommer. Es war ein Spiel. Wir hätten dich schon nicht die ganze Nacht da hängen lassen.
Gotcha. So it's inverted in what we originally thought way back when, even though we knew it wasn't that because of the time of things.
Es ist so krank, dass ich kotzen möchte.
Whoa.
Hey, stopp!
Verpiss dich, das geht dich nichts an.
Ich hab gesagt, ihr sollt aufhören.
He's got a gun.
Entschuldigt euch jetzt bei ihr. Ich hab gesagt, ihr sollt euch entschuldigen.
Holy.
Oder soll ich wissen, dass die echt ist?
Damn.
Zwei haut jetzt ganz schnell ab von hier. Und wenn ihr noch einmal wehtut, mache ich euch fertig.
Wow. The casting, specifically with his eyes,
yeah,
the expression that he has, is so good. From what his older self kind of looks like.
Ist es okay?
Danke.
Oh, what's your name?
Du blutest ja.
Damn.
Halb so schlimm.
Du musst zu einem Arzt.
No.
Probably because it's a bullet wound and then, you know.
Well, right, but...
Mutter ist nicht da. Ich kann das machen.
Did he potentially...
Oh yeah, and there's the bullet hole.
Wie
Yeah.
heißt du?
Yeah.
Alexander.
Yeah, cool.
All right.
Well, there's a few specific reasons why you wouldn't want to go to the hospital as a young kid with a gunshot wound.
Oh, yeah.
And some of them are actually rather suspect.
Volumenkontrollsystem.
Das reicht mir nicht.
Die Anschlüsse zum chemikalischen Einspeisesystem waren korrupt.
Oh no.
Geringe radioaktive Menge ausgetreten. Wir haben den gesamten Boden abgetragen und alles in sichere Verwahrung gebracht.
Das nennst du sichere Verwahrung.
Das Lager ist genauso sicher wie jedes andere offizielle Zwischenlager auch.
Or were they potentially warned?
Wer weiß alles davon?
Es ist in der Nachtschicht passiert. Der Schichtleiter, eine Handvoll Mitarbeiter, Helge.
Aha.
Alle haben sie eine ordentliche Zulage bekommen. Also mach es nicht größer, als es ist.
Well, I have another thing to bring up.
Da noch mehr? Ist da noch was passiert?
Yeah.
Irgendwas Komisches? Mit der Höhle, irgendwas, das durch die Explosion vielleicht...
Was soll denn da noch passiert sein?
Right.
Du, Hannibal ist mit Elefanten über die Alpen marschiert? Es gibt keine Wahrheit, nur Geschichten.
Wow.
Und die Geschichte dieser Stadt liegt jetzt in deinen...
Wow.
Okay.
Unser AKW sicher? Kann so etwas wie Tschernobyl bei uns passieren? Du entscheidest, welche Geschichte du erzählen willst.
Oh my
Okay.
god. Oh, the setup this episode is crazy. Is this where older Helga went? Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good point. The scar that he has might be his best bet at convincing past Helga or someone, you know? Oh, right. And this... Oh, man.
Yeah.
And Ulrich told them in the past that it was Helga who did the thing. And then he did confront him, and so he knows that Ulrich was the one who attacked Helga. Oh, shit.
Yeah, this is gonna get really messy. I love this thing with the pine cones.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it's across like multiple like families and
Mm-hmm.
like a calling card, but also like oh, bro, you're in the wrong place.
Yep. Close the curtains.
Just wait, maybe he'll leave. God, he's so close. And the idea that older Helga's snooping around right now.
Right. Well, and I love that we're actually getting to see this perspective of 80s Helga.
Yeah.
Because even though we've seen him a fair bit, we never really followed him, you know?
God, this poor tortured man. Like,
oh, yeah.
All right, following
What an
you...
introduction.
Hide the gun. Sure.
Yep.
What else?
Passports. Oh, shit.
Alexander Köhler. Geboren am 21.01.
Wow. Fun. I have to go and look at the other one for his true identity, but it might have said Conwald.
Oh, so that maybe he's a time traveler?
Oh yeah, there's a
Like,
very real
since
possibility.
as a kid,
That's,
you know?
Well, yeah, that's the thing, is that I think there's a very real possibility he's a time traveler because he didn't want to go to the hospital.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, that's got to be so unnerving. It's like, that's my dog from childhood.
Ein junger Mann ist hier, Sie zu sehen. Er sagt, er ist ein Freund Ihrer Tochter.
Ein Freund?
Ja, er ist auf der Suche nach Arbeit, wenn ich das richtig verstanden habe.
Ja.
Huh. Wow.
Er hat gesagt, Sie könnten mir da vielleicht helfen.
Haben Sie eine Ausbildung?
Ich bin gelernter Schlosser. Ich kann arbeiten. Hart. Ich lerne schnell.
Sie sind nicht von hier.
Alles, was ich will, ist eine Chance.
Tut mir leid. Im Moment brauchen wir keine.
Yeah, he went straight here.
Bald. Wie kann ich Sie erreichen?
Na, ich komme einfach morgen wieder vorbei.
Oh, hun. Your curls are great.
Yeah. Oh. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yep.
Wie du in die Hölle geblickt hat, wird sie nicht mehr los. Wird zu einem Teil von dir. Und die Idee von Gott, von Jesus, deinem Retter, die wird zu einem Faden Hoffnung, an den du dich klammerst.
Yeah.
Überhaupt gar keinen Plan. Da draußen ist nur Chaos. Schmerz und Chaos.
Whoa.
Don't. No, no, no. Fuck you.
Eine einzige Spirale von Verletzungen. Die Welt hat so verdammt unterzugehen. Aber das hier, das ist unsere Arche.
Ah.
Und ich bin nur.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Oh.
Jedem Schmerz.
Yeah, it's in his name.
Maschine, die alles neu sortiert. Den Anfang und das Ende.
So
awesome.
Okay.
So he definitely is from the future. Hey, Hannah. What do you got there?
Yeah.
What? The gun?
No way.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and the passports.
Boris Niewald?
Yeah, maybe it's not Conwald then. That was definitely an N.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But yeah, Boris something. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Aber nicht jetzt, sondern 1986. Ruf mich sofort zurück, wenn du das abhörst.
Whoa. Whoa.
Diese Fotze zu finden.
What was
Charlotte, es ist nicht besser so.
when was the last you saw him? Like, maybe you guys can coordinate. Damn, she came in like a hurricane.
Yep. Oh my God.
Hier.
Woher hast du die?
Habe ich unter der Brücke gefunden.
Nur weil wir ficken, heißt es nicht, dass du alles über mich wissen musst, okay?
Mhm. Yeah.
Ich heute, okay.
Huh. Cool.
Hey, hon.
We got a lot of people just trying to make sense to how to hold on to all of this. Yeah, no, he's not really gonna be that inclined.
Nicht alle Geheimnisse voneinander.
They're all scared.
Katharina, das ist ja eine Überraschung.
Wo ist er?
Wer?
Jetzt tu doch nicht so blöd. Ulrich, ist er hier?
Nein.
Is the gun still in there?
Hier gefickt, ja? Oder hier? Hier? Oder bei mir zu Hause? In meinem Bett?
Er ist nicht hier.
Macht dir das eigentlich Spaß?
Vorbei. Es ist vorbei.
Yeah, at least tell her that. But oh, the fact that they're kind of all just circling around. Oh, don't sit at the table with it. That's just. Oh, that's just building
Yeah,
the
I
tension
know.
even more. Oh.
And the way she's like not wanting to be too far from it, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Ich habe es beendet.
Yeah, sure you did. Bitch.
Wow, even now. Oh my God. Like,
Er hat einfach nicht locker gelassen.
even if you were wanting to appease her, you could have just told her the truth. That would have helped. Right, but she's still trying to...
Yeah.
Sagt, dass er dich nicht mehr liebt.
Wow.
Dass er mich liebt. Aber ich will, dass du weißt, dass es jetzt vorbei ist, Katharina.
You can trust me. I'm your friend. Oh my God. Yeah, and then she goes to comfort her.
Just like Noah did with Helga.
Yeah. And then do we see the smile?
Hey, I haven't seen you in a bit.
Yeah.
Fun. So is this where her bunker is, basically?
Maybe.
Kann ich Ihnen helfen?
Oh.
Du musst Bartosz sein.
You don't even know who she is.
Yeah.
Meine Mutter hat gesagt, du bist vor meiner Geburt gestorben.
Deine Mutter hat dir sicherlich eine Menge Geschichten über mich erzählt. Ist deinen Eltern sehr ähnlich.
Wenn du nicht tot bist, wo warst du dann in den letzten Jahren?
Muss noch was erledigen.
Wow.
Ich möchte, dass du ihr das gibst. Machst du das für mich? Das war noch davor. Vor dem Sommer und allem, was danach kam.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wenn ich die Zeit zurückdrehen könnte. Ich würde vieles anders machen.
Is he gonna call her out of work? Like, hey, Mom.
Oh, those are her hands in the opening, I think. The ones that do the cupping motion. It's weird that I might even be right. Just the idea that I've seen these hands so many times. That
Right.
It's like, wait a minute.
Ja, das tut gut. Das tut gut.
Yeah.
Kleinen Moment.
That's right.
Whoa. Whoa.
Erkennst du sie wieder? Ich habe mich all die Jahre gefragt, warum ich sie aufbewahrt habe. Aber alles hat seine Zeit. Keine Sorge. Der Inhalt ist in sicherer Verwahrung.
Was willst du?
Dass du mir einen Gefallen tust. Ich will, dass du Ulrich fertig machst. Ich will, dass er alles verliert.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mach ihn einfach fertig. Boris Niewald. Interessanter Name. Ich finde, er passt viel besser zu dir.
Okay.
Oh, back to Jonas. Okay.
Your mom is a real piece of work.
So, here's the thing.
Ich muss los.
Du musst los?
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait.
They're related.
Oh, God.
They're related. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Will he tell her, though?
Because,
Yeah, exactly.
She's his aunt.
Yeah.
War das nach der Probe? Du machst einfach so mit mir rum. Denkst du, die Alte ist gerade labil, da hole ich mir einfach mal, was ich kriegen kann, oder was?
Oh, my God.
Mann, jetzt sag doch mal was!
There is one way to, you know.
Falsch.
Was war falsch?
Das zwischen uns.
Oh.
Das war nicht richtig.
Right, because how could you possibly tell them, time travel and you're my aunt?
Nicht wegen Bartosz. Wegen uns. Das...
No.
You have to be very careful here.
Wir passen einfach nicht, okay?
Oh.
Passen einfach nicht.
Ja, wir passen einfach nicht.
Oh my God.
Oh, and she looked to confirm.
Yeah, he likes you. He totally does.
Yeah.
Ist hier ist falsch, ja?
Es tut mir leid.
Whoa. The willpower.
I can't believe I didn't make that connection.
Gefallen tust. Ich brauche Informationen über Ulrichen. Alles, was nützlich sein könnte. Okay.
Oh, that's where this guy comes into play.
In ein paar Tagen, wenn alles ruhiger geworden ist, dann bringen wir die Fässer zurück.
Ah. Gotcha. So they moved the barrels because there was going to be an investigation. Mm-hmm. Okay. A very straightforward, dirty little secret. No way.
Oh my
no
God.
way. Oh my God. All the shit's just still up there. When is Mikkel? Oh
well, this
my
is in
God.
This is in the hotel.
No, right, but this is where future Jonas was staying.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Right.
Yeah. There's the newspaper.
Yeah. But he left this intentionally then.
Sure.
Fun.
Oh.
Noah?
Is this Noah? Are we gonna see how this conversation went?
Yeah. Oh. Oh no.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
So.
Sie hatten recht.
Oh.
Alles ist so eingetreten, wie Sie es vorher gesagt haben.
Wow. Yeah, so he told him basically. And if you want proof, I can tell you.
Über ein Angebot nachgedacht.
I need disciples.
Ja.
Ich habe Arbeit für dich. Aber unter einer Bedingung.
Whoa.
Mit niemandem.
Wann fange ich an?
Whoa.
Metalworker. Yeah, okay.
Uh-huh. Holy.
Oh my God.
This doesn't give me future Jonas vibes.
Oh my God.
Oh no, it is. Okay,
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Kann ich Ihnen helfen?
So she's time traveled too. Probably a lot.
Yeah.
Ich möchte, dass Sie das für mich bauen.
Was soll das sein?
Sagen wir, es ist etwas, das den Lauf der Zeit gerade rücken wird.
Okay. And that's okay.
It's not a time machine. It's something to like maybe cancel out the the wormhole or something or the
That's
gate.
wild.
So that's why he had it and it's broken.
Mm-hmm.
Is that he probably tried to use it and it didn't work.
Right.
And so now he's going around trying to. Wow. All right.
Oh,
we got
boy.
Our first episode covering 3 different points in time, advancing the story at all 3 points in time.
In some very important ways in all of them.
Very important ways in all of them. And because we've had so much setup throughout this season, this show demonstrates why it's so fun to get invested into it this episode.
Yeah.
Because they didn't need to establish many of these scenes with much. They did do some really clever, I will actually say, I need to applaud this show a lot, but there's a lot of establishing shots and a lot of specific things outside of the obvious, like, boom, we are in
this year,
1986 or what have you. But like establishing shots to give us a sense of continuity to knowing when we are, and specifically when we are within those years. Seeing scar marks and blemishes on people's faces to know, oh, that means that this thing has already happened.
Or starting with a character that's like to be like, okay, this person in this time and all that stuff, right? You know, and this was a wonderful episode. It was a joy to watch. I was so tense through so much of it, and the thing is, like, in the previous episode, you kind of know what's the most important thing, right? You've got the conversation in the shop, and you've got Ulrich trying to kill Helga. Yeah. But here, it's like, no, all of it's important.
Well, all of it's important, but there were a few things that were true in every single timeline. One, we've got people that are dealing with family upheaval.
Yes.
Basically, reveals and secrets about their families are coming to the forefront here.
Yep. And then they're in a vulnerable place, and then someone who is very much like predating on them.
Yes. Takes advantage
of that. And specifically in the, I will comfort you, you can trust me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the theme that carries throughout this is born within a specific character, and that is Noah. Noah is in every single point in the time. This episode.
Oh, yeah. No,
he's
that's a good
in
point.
2019, he's in 1986, and he's in 1953. And in all three of them, he's a time traveler.
Right.
It is basically revealed. The only one that's potentially in question is 1953, but it's pretty much, I would say, hinted at by the way that he looks at Kid Helga, meaning that he's aware that this kid is going to be someone that works with him for a considerable amount of time.
Yes.
But what he's doing, at the very least, seems to be the heart of this predatory, I will take advantage of people in these places here. I will communicate to them how terrifying and evil human beings are, and thus isolate them so that they can then be manipulated, used.
Yeah.
But we also had it very explicitly stated by him the reason why he's doing this. And I believe him. I believe him in a lot of ways why he's doing this. We had another thing very much kind of pointed at that with what Bernd Doppler was bringing up, in that we have a doom that's approaching. We have a bad thing that's coming. And he's trying to prepare or avert it, whatever his actual, reasons for knowing that, or even using that for his own means or whatever.
Yeah.
I think we very much have a Chernobyl situation on our hands in the future. And he, at the very least, does believe he's Noah building the ark that will basically save everybody.
I like it.
And thus he's a villain, absolutely, but he's a complicated one.
Sure. I mean, the odd thing. Well, okay. No. All right. No, we don't have time to go into theory stuff.
No, we do not.
That does make me curious about the whole thing. That the future Jonas being like, I'm going to open up the radioactive barrels. That's really odd, But that being aside,
right?
So we've got the whole situation with Ulrich being chased by Egon.
Egon catches him.
And we didn't follow up on that in the same episode. He catches him at the mouth of the cave. He's handcuffing him, right? He's got a gun and all that stuff.
Right.
So, okay, that's wild.
Right. And what's wild about this is then an older Egon will also feel like he needs to get Ulrich here because...
I think they're going for the it's not a conscious recognition or anything.
No, it's not a conscious recognition.
But it's just that bit of when you
I remember a man like you.
Right, on the wholesome side, if you see a kid and you're like, "Oh, I see your parent in you," right? And then and they do a thing and you're like, "Wow," spitting image, right?
Kind of like what Claudia did with Bartosz.
Yeah. And then oh, hey, you end up getting this basically, but instead it's them from, the future, whatever. You saw them and now you see the younger version of them and you're like, "I don't like you,"
Yeah, you rubbed me the wrong way.
Right.
You're the person, you remind me of the person that I should have caught and noticed earlier. Now, we don't know what's going to happen to Ulrich in the 80s.
Yeah, theoretically, or in the 50s. Yeah, theoretically, he could just be arrested and locked away, and he just never comes back, which would be wild. I would kind of love that.
In jail or something.
Sure, yeah.
Either way, The idea that also he joked about it, but he called Ulrich the Antichrist, basically. Now, obviously, he's talking about the demon, the devil. What do you call it? Devil. Like Satanism.
Right.
He thinks he's like a Satanist or what have you. But if he did end up having someone named Ulrich, same thing there.
Oh, sure.
And in his brain, he goes, wait a minute. Like,
yeah.
He might be aware then that Ulrich, if he does know that Ulrich's a time traveler, he then knows that this is Kid Ulrich who ends up attacking or killing Helga, or thinking he's the one in the past that ended up attacking those kids.
Although Ulrich has not yet disclosed his name to the police.
No, I know, but that might be why we didn't advance that story.
Right,
yet.
because Ulrich is absolutely not... He's
not a smart time traveler.
He's not being a smart time traveler, right? He goes and he does the thing of, I'm going to kill the kid.
And he's like, I think I changed it.
Right, and then I think I changed it. But then he's just sort of like walking around, like not immediately going back to the caves, going in the general direction maybe, but
right, that's a good point.
Like he was like, and to be fair, I totally get it.
Oh yeah,
you just tried to murder a child and you think you succeeded, right? Like, regardless of the reasons and everything, right? Of okay, this will set everything right. Holy fuck, I just did that, right? That's, you are going to be shaken for sure.
Right. So that's that whole situation there. Oh my god, that's just
right. We set up the attraction between the two kids that is then the lead into the affair in the 80s. And then we have Agnes just being this like full on homewrecker, where it's like. In the previous episode, I'm thinking, okay, she's going to end up getting with Egon. But now I'm like, oh, wait, is she actually coming on to, what's her name? The wife. But she's doing the full thing that Noah's doing. But then also we get the reveal that, oh, okay, yeah, her husband is Noah.
Yeah. And again, this is the part where I'm suspect of this, is that Noah is currently in the 50s right here.
Yeah.
In the town. Yeah, Doris, right. He's in the town acting as the priest, right? But he potentially is already a time traveler here. But she said she just came to the town. Like she just came back.
Right, and that she'd been married to her husband, who, granted, it wasn't emphatically stated, but it was implied by the show, for 15 years, right?
Right. So if it's I have, come back here, and this is, if he's not a time traveler, then she's coming back to where her ex-husband lived, basically.
Sure.
But she doesn't bring that up with regards to why she came back here because of the grandmother thing. So basically, she's so sus. She's so sus with everything that she's doing here.
So here's my part of my thought with this. Okay, I'm still not entirely off of the theory that Bartosz is Noah. And if you ended up having something where you have someone who's young that then ends up time traveling, they need to get to they time travel, and they do stuff at the time they go back to, but then they also want to set themselves up and do all that lineage, stuff. But then two, potentially wait around to get to the point where they can start time traveling again. They do as much as they can at that point.
Sure.
Then, you go back to a time, find a person that's in a key position or whatever. You guys get married or whatever. Ideally, you bring them in onto the whole, the whole kit and caboodle, right? And then you start basically enacting your plan, right?
That's what a greedy, basic person would do if they had time travel and were, had no morals or what have you. It's not a stretch to assume that.
Right.
So, that's basically where we can, I would say, leave off that that thought there, because it's interesting, but we'll save it for now. But then we get introduced to Alexander, or no, Boris, a person who is not from around here,
right?
Has a gunshot wound that he, as a kid, survives without going to the hospital. Which I'm just gonna throw out there. He's a time traveler. He's at the very least somebody who is too conveniently put into a chaotic situation that he then immediately gets out of with not only zero consequences, but incredible benefit.
Yeah.
It's a coincidence that feels way too pointed to have been...
Right, to have been something less than that. Now, to be fair, reality is stranger than fiction, and I could absolutely see that if he comes in and he's willing to do things under the table, right?
Sure.
That would be a way that he would then ascend within the ranks because, okay, in this position of privilege, there are all these secrets you have to keep under lock and key. And so, yeah, he's trustworthy for that. He's used to it or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
whatever.
Sure.
I still think that's just the way it is. It's going to be an interesting one to watch, but we have everything going on with Regina, who ends up getting saved conveniently at the point where he is again as well. And he's got a gun, even though he had a gunshot wound.
Right, which, he was probably in a gunfight.
Well, right, but again, like, he's in a gunfight as a kid. He survived.
Yeah, like, well, there's all the, potential stuff of, like, if it's...
He's already killed somebody. They tried to kill him.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
failed.
Right, because he's very much coded in the, whereas she's from money and the, like, cushy life and all that stuff, he very much is not. He's, and so he could be from the general outskirts of society, whatever, was, mixed up in some rough stuff.
Yeah, that's all that well and good. I'm just pointing more and more at the coincidence of this here. When we then frame this scene next to the burned Doppler talking to Claudia about, we had an incident at the power plant.
Yep.
Things were almost catastrophic. And when he says, like, almost catastrophic, it was, like, extremely close to being catastrophic. Yeah. So they changed the tubes, basically, in response to some of this. Right. And while they had some leak out, and everyone basically was paid to be hush-hush about it.
Yep, there was no issue,
The idea that during this time, something that could have been a crazy sequence of events here.
Oh, yeah.
We have someone who is affiliated at this point in time with a time traveler also knowing about this thing here. And if the potential reactor meltdown kind of thing, like a Chernobyl incident, which they have been building up a Chernobyl kind of connection here within this show thus far.
Yeah.
Has somebody who's connected to a time traveler.
And the time traveler that people are connected to here is who?
Noah. Helga was at the thing where the incident happened.
Right.
He knows about it.
Yes.
Noah is connected with Helga.
Right, because there was that whole conversation with
Helga.
Helga.
And Noah's whole point is that he's saying, I'm going to save us from doom, which means in some ways the reason why this might not have been an actual full meltdown, an actual crazy bad incident, is because Noah used Helga to save it, potentially.
Or because future Helga then goes back and basically does the thing that basically makes it so that it's okay.
Yeah, but again, either way, Helga's connected to Noah, so
right.
That's just important to note there. Claudia is almost like trying to, uncover whether or not Bernd knows about time travel related potential
right, because
stuff.
she just got her dog from 33 years ago that just, went missing and then, comes out of the caves, right, at the same, location and all that stuff. And it's just like, it's just there, right? That would be so wild. Like, because it's not just the, that looks like my dog, right? But it's the original uncanny kind of like, whoa, that looks just like my dog. And then, wait, I think that is. And then you check the name tag. What the fuck?
Right, it's my dog, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, it almost makes me want to go back and check to see if there was like a noise of some kind or something that made the dog just suddenly like go towards
because
the dog was with
Helga and then
Helga
and then Helga threw the stick or the bone or whatever into the cave, to be like, I don't like that, I feel replaced and all that stuff. Dog runs in there, doesn't come back, right? Now, I don't know if we heard like a, when that happened, but
No, I don't know if we. Well, actually, I don't remember.
Although
it wouldn't have happened quickly. It would have been a while.
Yeah, right, exactly. It could be the dog's kind of stuck in there. It's just sort of running around or whatever, right? Yeah. It's dark, who knows? And then at some point, right, while it's wandering, it goes through time, and there you go.
Yeah, I do want to throw out the idea, though, that the dog's position, place, and all that does, again, it's one of those coincidences where I wouldn't be surprised if at any point in time, given how few points we have of time travel, given the 33 years thing, that at any point in those caves, there could just be a time traveler waiting for people outside the cave to leave so that they can exit. Like,
sure.
like you know what I mean? Dog runs in, and the reason why they don't immediately go, like, the reason why they don't immediately leave is because they just saw older Claudia. Older Claudia is holding the dog, and it's like they're there, and the dog can smell her, and it's like, oh yeah, that's me.
Let's inject some levity into this wild, crazy show. It gets to the point where there's enough time travelers there, and they kind of know about each other, but they,
they're all peeking around behind the corner, looking at the next person who's looking at the next person.
Cold War, don't acknowledge, don't interact. Just go about your business, right? But also,
you mean it's like they're literally head down, don't look at each other, just walk past.
No, it just gets to this point where there's this very think about a line for a bathroom, right? Just a very awkward, just all right, you go out. Okay, they're gone. Okay, there's wait 30 seconds or a minute for them to fully be out of sight, just in case,
bro. You know what?
And then they go out.
Now you know what would happen if that happened? There'd be this nice little line. Some madman comes screaming out of the caves with a gun, just guns down all 6 people in line, just shoots them.
In reality, that wouldn't actually happen.
No,
because because of the 33-year offset, it's all based on it'll be several hours or something before the next person comes through or whatever.
And thus it's brilliant because then they won't actually bump into each other.
Yeah, the 33 years really fixes so much.
It does so much, yeah. But yeah,
you have the idea though.
But yeah, so Claudia is being told, you now have the story of this town in your hands. You can decide what story to tell. Framed at the end of the episode when she then shows up to Bartosz and is like, I have a story. I have something to tell.
Yep.
Meaning that she's been time traveling, going around. Because this is one of the fun things here is just because somebody is old in 2019. Doesn't mean necessary, and if they're done time travel stuff, that doesn't mean they're necessarily from a point ahead of 2019. It could be that they literally just spent a large portion of their life just going through time.
Oh no, 100%. I think Claudia is actually cracked with regards to how she approaches this, because if you find out there's time travel and everything, right, and bad stuff's gonna happen,
you study that shit.
Yes, but you do the bunker thing, let everyone think you died. And then you have 33 years of just, all right, we going on time expeditions all the time.
Right.
And you don't need to worry about taking care of yourself or anything, because you just steal some food in a different timeline and bring it back or whatever, right? Oh no, there's a shoplifter that, right? That's all you have to worry about,
Right. Although I will say, she is, and that bunker, and the difference that this is just a really fun thing, but there's 2 bunkers.
Right.
And that's wild, just for one. I know that people make bunkers. It's not some wild thing or what have you. But if you look at just the stark difference in what's in these bunkers, one is obviously not being used. One's just kind of, people are meeting there for whatever reason. But the fact that hers has guns, has all these crazy bits of military equipment and stuff, I think girl does know a little bit of what's coming though.
Actually, hang on a second. So I do think it's a different bunker, but I just realized there's a way in which it doesn't have to be.
What?
Here's why. Who's to say that when we see her in the bunker, she's in the present time? Yes, she's from that original present time, and so if she returns to there, she is going to be at that general same age that she would be if she had never left.
Sure.
Right? Unless she goes through the long loop way, which why would you ever do that? So she could just go ahead 33 years, set up the bunker when it's after some nuclear whatever or something, and everything's, no one's going to be disturbing the bunker.
Sure.
Drop your shit there. Yeah. That's your home base. And if you ever go there, you just take the time travel transit, through the cave and just go there. All right, cool. All your stuff's there. Nobody's bothered with it. You live there or whatever. When it's time for the next expedition, cool. You go back to the caves because it's a set 33 years all the time. So it doesn't matter if you're on an off by one kind of situation.
Yeah, you're right. But so let's talk about a lot of the kids. There's a lot of kid stuff going on here. So, oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay. So Helga is bumping into Helga, which is going to be fun. They're saving that clearly for the finale here.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
We've got Franziska
and Magnus,
right? Who are
they're getting it on. Okay, cool. Like that's the simplest one.
That's probably the most straightforward thing here.
And that makes complications, with Magnus and Martha, because it's like, hey, we're all we've got. But then it's like, all right, I'm also learning things about you and everything on top of the general frustrations of. I'm so happy for you that your love life is going well, that you're keeping a secret from me.
Right.
Meanwhile, I'm getting. My love life sucks.
Yeah. Well, that's why I wanted to bring up basically is that their romance is kind of a secret one.
Mm-hmm.
But there's honestly no reason for it to be a secret other than they're kids and they want to have their secret thing.
They have the most normal
but
stuff
that's
going
why
on right
it
now.
has to be wrong. There's something here that we're missing. And that's the thing is that he brings up the little necklace thing and she's like panics, like, where'd you find that? And he's like, under the bridge. I want to know who you are. And in this show, where people are not who they say they are.
Okay.
Who's Franziska then, Jacob?
No, okay, so I get that, and there's an element of where I feel like that's totally on point. At the same time, it totally read to me like regular teen, just like, why, like angst stuff. Because the big point of potential entrance of sussery or whatever would be the fact that Helga is not actually Greta's, or he's Greta's son, but not Burns, right? And so we don't know who his actual dad is. If there's time muckery stuff, it would probably happen through there, unless we go up into Charlotte's lineage, which they could totally do. But
yes,
I don't think
that's possible.
Basically, I think the situation with Franziska is I was, helping the person who disappeared deal drugs kind of, stuff.
Right.
I know about time travel stuff, you know?
Yeah. But okay, so I think there's a possibility that Helga was born to a time traveler and Greta. And the reason why Franziska is potentially someone.
Oh, yeah, and I would say there's a very decent possibility. Oh, no, it's not Noah, because Noah then goes and, but
well,
time
it was
traveler.
just someone, basically. Yeah. But the idea that Franziska is, because she's young, she wouldn't be a time traveler necessarily. Like, because there's just not enough. There's just not enough time for it.
Right, so it would be more about who. Like, if there's someone in her family lineage that is a time traveler kind of a thing, right?
Or if we're going to end up eventually getting Goonie Squad, right? Some of these kids are going to get deposited back into the past, and they're going to get stuck there, potentially.
They could, although I think there is also, we got to bring up the possibility that they end up, because of all the crazy, like in season 3, this would happen, but because of all the crazy shit that happens, and because they're like, we so don't trust the adults, they end up basically bringing each other into the confidence, and then they go on a Goonies expedition all together.
That's what I'm saying. This is the kind of show where that will probably happen.
Right, because we've been having...
Just a matter of when.
We've been having singular time travelers happen. We have not had people go in a group, and really you need a team. Because you got to have someone that has your back.
That's scary, bro.
Yeah, no, I know.
Because you don't know what people's motivations are.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's just a fun little thing that they're setting up for future things there, and I just wanted to acknowledge. But we had a big reveal here. It's not really as much of a reveal as more as it is that we're getting to see the actual active things here. In that Noah and Helga in the 80s are working in the room that
on the experiment chair.
Right, in the experiment chair. But the way they shot this, they went from the bunker hatch being open with the light on to this room, which gives my mind that there's a door within that bunker that is sealed. Like you can't just accidentally walk into it. And that's where this very specific room is.
And they basically set up the experiment room, and because it was just in the 80s, that's at a time when no one else is knowing about it, because the times that we see people going to this bunker is in the present, or it was in the 50s when Ulrich tried to kill Helga.
Right.
And so if this is something that was in Helga's family, aka the family that had the reactor, back then, then this is something that, the Doppler family, then this is something that they set up, they wallpaper the thing and all that stuff, and it's a bunker that's out of the way, nobody will know about it or whatever. They do their experiments there. I feel like that's actually a good question. We could look at the room, and then we could compare it to the bunker in the present day and see if the general structure is the same, right? The not necessarily if the lights or the wallpaper are there, but like the way that the walls are shaped,
Maybe. I'm just more wanting to talk about the fact that they are trying to figure out how to send kids to different points in time. But the caves just exist.
Yeah, so that's the thing about this that's weird.
Right.
Is that building our original thought of how the time travel works is that Corpo does experiments on kids because they know of the caves, and they're trying to tap into that, and then as a result of that, they're able to then develop the thing to hone it so that then they can actually use it.
Right? And that could be what's happening still here.
Right, except with the thing that we have and the way that we have the time travel and everything, and especially, now they did say that everything started when Mikhail got sent back in time.
We don't know when things started.
No. That was said in the previous episode at one point, where it's like the original like thing or whatever was Mikhail.
But why? Okay, can you move on and go into something else? Like,
point is, with the way the time travel works, if you go back and do something, it's already happened, right? And so there's no reason for them to try and invent a time machine when the caves are there. You just crawl through the thing and there you go, right?
Right.
There's this then feels really weird, right?
Right, which is why I don't think we have everything correct. There are certain things that we have wrong, and this is pointing at the fact that because Noah is the most informed time traveler that we have other than future Jonas,
right?
There is nobody in the show confirmed to have more knowledge potentially than him.
Right.
He is doing this knowing it's going to work, knowing that it's actually going to do things here. And at the very least, what it does in the resulting fashion is it puts kids that they've put experiments on and at least kills them in a way that makes them really hard to be identified.
Sure.
And puts them somewhere else.
Right.
Somewhere else.
Well, but that's the other thing that's weird about this, right? Because the whole idea of them experimenting on kids, but then the kids being deposited in times where they did not originally come from, is that you just get, a kid went missing and then there you go, but you can also take kids from the future as sort of a take a loan against myself kind of a thing, right?
Sure.
But the problem is that if this is all to experiment and figure out how to develop time travel, you can't get test subjects from the future. Right? Like, that's not how that works. And so then the idea of this just feels... The fact that we're getting this scene is very interesting. It gives us a lot of information, but it's nothing that's concrete enough for us to be able to come to conclusions off of it.
Well, no,
it just says something that doesn't work with our current understanding.
Because Noah has knowledge. Noah knows this is going to work. So he's doing this, even though it's not working at the moment. That's what the point of the scene was that this is a point where they know that it doesn't work because literally they say, it's not working. I don't want to keep doing this. And he's like, do you think Einstein would have given up? And he's basically saying, keep going with me. And for the audience's perspective, we know that he knows that it works.
Sure. Or at the very least that it's necessary for the... Yeah.
No, because we've got kids with their eyes burnt out.
So that's what I was figuring was the failure, is that they had a kid that they got somehow, even though Eric was from the future.
But we're in the 80s right now, and those kids end up in the 50s.
No, right. But the eyes being burned out is from this machine, right? As far as, we can tell. And we did get that originally the goal was not actually to travel through time, it was to look through time. And so then that makes sense why the whole eyes get burned out and all that stuff, right?
Sure.
But this is the all right, it didn't work, and so now we're still working on it, right?
So you're saying that if the kids were experimented on here, they then dragged the bodies through the caves into the points of other points in time, like Mads in 2019.
Yeah, to dispose of them.
Just to dispose of them.
Yeah.
But they were all found. That's my point, is that I don't think they were put in those positions where it would be like they were put into places where they ended up being found. If you were time travel, you wouldn't do that. That's again why I don't think that's what this was. They are actually succeeding at some point.
No, the person with the eyes burned out, right? That wasn't Mikhail, it wasn't Eric. Mads. It was Mads, right? And so they grabbed Mads from this time.
And it was both.
No, right. But as far as
two kids also in the 50s.
Yes, but they didn't know whose those were. There were no recorded disappearances. But what I'm saying is, it didn't work.
It's because those kids are from the future.
Hang on. Yes, exactly. So this was Mads. It didn't work. He died. He got his eyes scorched off and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why they're working on it now. And that's why Helga here is then like, oh my God, the idea of experimenting on a kid and then it going so badly. I was, like attacked and all this stuff is, something that's affecting me very deeply. And Noah's like, no, stay the course, all that stuff. Right. So that's, yeah.
Yeah. So then if Helga then moves the kids' bodies through time, if we're going that route there, then Helga is at this point already kind of working against Noah, because he's putting the bodies, at least Mads, in a place that's super easy to be found. And I mean super easy.
All right.
It's something that, to me, is showing that Helga has been the victim and the warrior this whole time. He's been predated upon by stronger, more powerful, more dangerous folks like Noah. And over the course of time, he's been like, I have to stop him. I have to stop him. I have to stop him. So he's been helping those with the potential to eventually know about the time travel and all this stuff, and is putting the bodies instead of in like deep buried specific places.
Yeah,
and
just
stuff,
leaving them out to be found.
At the very least, that's what Mads was. Like you could maybe convince me that was not the case with the 50s kids.
Sure.
But I definitely don't think that with Mads.
Yeah, and especially actually with the 50s kids. Because,
again,
it's unlikely that the bodies would be in perfect condition if they were excavated.
Right.
So it's probably more likely that during the night, when there's a big dirt pile they've been excavating, and then before the workday they come there and on top of the dirt.
Oh, totally. But they could have been excavated, from underground. But yes, it's more likely that if they were moved there, that they wouldn't necessarily be buried.
Right, exactly. Because if you're going to bury kids so that they aren't found, you don't bury them in the place where you're going to be doing construction.
And because you have time travelers, you would, for the past ones, you would have the knowledge of where not to bury them too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So then we have Katharina, which then leads into the Hannah confrontation.
I was so scared.
Hannah, this episode is
she is evil.
Evil, and it's fun because she, in some ways, is the confirmation that Noah's right. Is that
that people are terrible?
Well, that people are not only just terrible, awful, or what have you, but if you gave them more power, if you gave people like Hannah a gun, we suddenly take a scene that could have been just a manipulative scene to this is a terrifying scene.
Yeah, exactly.
So the idea of time travel being the ultimate power in this, you give it to people who are themselves evil or scary, like Noah, and it's just oh God, I am God.
And because that is true, that's why then Noah is burdened with glorious purpose and all that, because it's he's
like, I'm an awful person, and I know
or at the very least, because I know how awful people are, I'm one of the only people that can be trusted with this, and so I have to do it right.
Or I'm going to sacrifice my own humanity to go about and do the work that needs to be done.
Right, yeah. Because, other people would just do mundane awful stuff. I'm at least going to do awful stuff that has like a good return.
I will. The ends justify the means.
It's going to be good for humanity rather than just Hannah being like, yes, destroy Ulrich so that way he'll have nothing and then he'll come crawling back to me, right? Which is I love Hannah as a character because if she wasn't in a show about all this time travel stuff, she would be the super scary stalker villain, right? And yet she's just another person in here. And it's just like...
Right, because there's even crazier things going on that she feels
exactly.
She feels kind of like...
She's being mundane.
Relatively normal.
Awful, yeah.
Oh, yes, mundane awful. She's absolutely awful, but like, wow.
Right.
The reveal, though, that she knew about Boris, because either she just found conveniently...
Yeah, she conveniently found the gun. That's the only explanation we have right now.
Again, this episode introduced way too many conveniences.
No, I know. When there's conveniences in a time travel show, you're like, okay, is this actually a convenience? And if it's not...
Who made this not a convenience?
Right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And
it's wild stuff.
Wild stuff. Personally, this feels like, to me, we have a world where everyone keeps secrets, right?
Yeah.
Because they're all scared.
Yeah.
Because at some
normal
point...
people keep secrets, right?
No. I was going to say that some point in all of these family lines, someone learned about time travel.
Okay.
Like before. They've learned about it before 2019, basically.
All right.
And so by the time 2019 comes around, everyone is scared, fragmented, because either someone in their past went a little bit crazy, did something a little bit off, and so now it's just we're just trying to hunker down and everything's fine, and we're trying to pretend that we can have this nice little idyllic town and it's good, but the doom and the scare is looming over us like this giant, reactor shaft.
And let me know if this is what you're talking about or
right. I'm getting at
something
themes,
else.
So go for it.
Yeah, but that basically it's the there's no secrets in a small town, and so that where the show started, there's actually a bunch of people that potentially know about the time travel. It's all everyone thinks they're the only one that knows about time travel, and so it's like, okay, we're all just here, and there's actually only like 6 people that don't.
Right, and even if it's mostly just that the kids do not and all that.
Sure,
stuff,
or like a few important adults know about it.
Right, a few important adults I think is the main thing, but it's that then there's this. Then the adults just live and they realize how fucked everything is.
Right.
Like Helga, for instance. And it's just I've got to set things right. So then you have adults like revealed at the end of the episode, Claudia goes back to HG, whatever his name is.
And is like, build this.
And is like, build this because this is going to set time straight. Not help us travel through time.
Nope, it's going to fix it.
This is going to fix it.
Begin building the MacGuffin.
You thought you were potentially building a time machine. No, we thought you were building a time machine too, but no, you're not.
You're building a time flex tape.
You're building... Now that's a lot of damage! Yeah. Like, you're building something that's going to also cancel the wormhole or what have you.
Oh my God. Okay, adding to mental strain of time travel and all that stuff, right? Because, our whole thing talking about the adults that know and all that stuff.
Right.
Well, the big one that knew was Mikkel, a.k.a. Michael. And so can you imagine?
Yeah.
You're a dad, and your son comes up to you and is asking for relationship advice with your sister.
I mean, that's its own... That's its own...
Right, like, and you're like,
that's
okay,
its own thing there,
I can't tell him...
well, also the inevitable thing as well, potentially, of if future Jonas ever makes contact with slightly older Mikkel, he would then know that his son inevitably becomes
a time traveler. Oh, yeah. No, yeah.
And thus then it's I have to potentially die in order to pass this on to him.
Which also, I just gotta say, is poetic as all hell that in the tragedy of Mikkel/Michael and then the monster that is Hannah,
yes,
you end up getting this boy who is just earnestly trying to be a good person and figure shit out, and it's really
Jonas
it's really
is the
tough.
Main character.
And he's the main character, and he's gonna end up, doing the big thing that will save everybody or whatever.
Right. He has his dark other self that's there,
Yeah, and I am
him of the future
and I am so here for that.
Yeah. Okay, so continuing in 2019 though.
Yeah.
We have Claudia Tiedemann, who comes to Bartosz.
Right.
And if she's a time traveler, which she is, at the very least, she's done some of that. The way in which she comes here and is like, hey, is your mother home?
Yeah,
that's
I'm your
the
grandmother.
Well, that's the kind of question you ask more because it, to me, feels like where, when, how, like I need to just get my bearings a little bit.
Well, and
And that way I could potentially have this conversation with you without her here.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of adults meeting kids and, talking to them in a way that I have to,
Right, the adults have
this,
additional,
skeptic,
the adults have additional perspective that the kids don't, although... Well, at this point, Bartosz now knows about time travel because Noah, everything that you said came to pass.
Yeah.
Right, which is wild,
Which is nuts because that's hey, was your grandmother actually alive? And she comes to you to visit to tell you and bring you something.
Well, and that's
the thing that we saw Bartosz experience this episode that would be proof you're a time traveler, basically.
Oh, sure.
I'm just saying, Bartosz only has this one scene other than the one with Noah here. So if you wanted to frame the viewer's mind of what could, Noah have been talking about.
Sure.
It would be like
there's a whole bunch of stuff that kind of doesn't directly relate to him right now. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, okay, would he really know or care about those things?
Yeah, right. But this would be
which is crazy because this would be the kind of thing that I would think that Noah wouldn't know about.
Well, why not?
Unless he's Bartosz, maybe. But because Claudia's acting on her own. She's living in a bunker.
No, she's a time traveler.
No, right. But when she's not doing time traveler stuff, she's living in a bunker, right? And so then she goes and does time travel stuff, and it's like, okay, cool. But this is something where who would Noah tell about this?
What?
Who would Noah or Claudia tell about this visit?
What? Noah? What? I'm so confused. What's your question?
No. This. So okay, if this is it's the whole thing of why would we know that future Jonas is future Jonas because he goes into Jonas's room and helps him with the maps that Jonas wouldn't have told anybody about.
Oh well, it's future Jonas.
No, but that's one of our first clues, right? Whereas here,
there's a million clues.
No, well, okay, one of the most like concrete clues,
yes.
Hey, how do you explain this? The simplest answer is that he's future Jonas, and here we have Claudia, who's the one who actually goes back and gives the message. I don't see her, if she's a time traveler, I don't see her being on great terms with Noah or talking to him all that much.
Okay, why does she have to be the one to tell Noah this?
No, I'm going through the list. And then you have Regina, if he goes and then says that, Grandma showed up, and then I guess maybe she tells Alexander. But basically, it's all within that Tiedemann family.
No, all you have to have, see, there's a way easier answer for all this.
Okay.
Noah, the thing we've been suspecting for a while now, is from the future.
Right.
Bartosz just tells him at one point.
Oh, okay.
It's if Noah's from the future, which
sure.
I still think I still think we're going to have some 33 post 2019 kind of thing.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, even if it is Bartosz, we're going to have to see the Bartosz that turns into Noah that's in the future that then starts time traveling, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Either way, it's immediately solved right there.
Okay.
Because to me, Noah, until there's anything that proves otherwise, it does not feel like he is from. Because 53 and that moment that we had with him feels again like he's a time traveler already at that point. It feels like he's coming back here to insert himself into specific people's lives, relationships, interactions, and doing things there. He's clearly already a time traveler at 86. And he's absolutely a time traveler at 2019 because of, this scene that we had at the end of the episode here.
Although the whole thing of, I think, Bartosz telling Noah doesn't work because of the whole thing of the way that the time travel doesn't cause things to change, right? What? So it's, because Ulrich was the one who hurt Helga, and that's what it always was, right?
Yeah,
so,
but okay.
That's a minor point of the episode.
Well, no, I'm just saying I have an explanation. If you want to debate it, I'm just saying I have one that's it's really straightforward in that regard. And this conversation with Claudia here ends up being one that then is covered with the context that she's a time traveler. So she's telling him this because she knew this is what she wanted.
Right.
She didn't want to go directly to Regina.
This is with time cognizant intention.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not some accident and she was looking for Regina. She's like, no, I came to Bartosz specifically.
Yeah, it would be very easy to know, oh, Regina's probably at her place of work at this time. You know, crazy. Yeah. Now, granted, this is the original time that she's from, you know, because that whole thing lines up, right, with Claudia.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying that she's at the very least traveled backwards probably more than once.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Right. So she has, like, all the potential knowledge that she could ever want. And also, this is another fun thing. Because she's in the bunker, she could be way older, like, in terms of, like, than actually the 33 years from 86, if that makes sense. Like, she's spent time actually
I would be surprised if that was the case, because we would know that it would then be by an increment of 33, based on how the time travel works. It wouldn't be less than 33. It would be
it'd be
by
more.
An offset of 33.
Well, no, what I'm saying is that if someone...
33.
No, so what I'm saying is that someone could, if they wanted to, go and do a bunch of traveling or what have you.
Yeah.
Go to a point in time and just then live it out.
Yeah, no, I know. But the thing is that because of how the time travel works, because you're only able to travel 33-year increments, the amount of offset that you will be from your original timeline will always be a multiple of 33. Either 0, because that's the actual age you're supposed to be, or some multiple of 33.
Oh, I'm sorry. I get what you're saying. Right. Yes, you're absolutely right.
And that's one of the things that, again, makes this show work so well, because then not only you don't have to worry about people going and doing an incremental, like, I'm going to beat you by 5 seconds in your time travel, but you also then have something where it's very easy to understand who we're dealing with.
Right. I guess from what I'm bringing up here is just that. Yeah, I guess no.
She could have. Well, no, yeah, because if she went back 33 years, yeah, no, it'd be before all of this stuff would have. Yeah.
Okay. So Claudia then uses Alexander to then
weld the door, which I love it. It's not a thing of, oh, it was welded as soon as, Mikhail disappeared or whatever. Nope. It's as soon as the whole situation happened way back then, and they had to, move stuff. Yeah, or she finds out that the stuff's down there, weld the door, cool. No one from inside the plant will be able to get access to this place.
Yeah. So this is another thing here, is that if we're in 2019 and Noah predicts everything accurately from 2019, that also means that he's been to the future. Potentially.
Right.
So either, this is kind of my thing where I wanted to see if this has legs here. Either Noah's, kind of realized the hot spots here.
Sure.
And his thing has been living out in each timeline certain amounts of time.
Yeah.
To then be able to hop a little bit, like, before.
Right, he does a few work weeks in the experiment room, and then goes somewhere else.
Right. But I'm saying that he's potentially
someone else.
He's potentially the most dangerous because he's offset by certain amounts of time with regards to, like, when he's traveling. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that is one of those things where, like, if there, this show has bypassed like 98% of like potential plot holes because of how it does the time travel.
Yes.
But one of the ones that it could absolutely stumble into is that because it's location-based for the time travel, and we see Noah doing, like, work, right? Assuming it's some kind of 8-hour day or whatever, that means he can't be doing anything in the day 33 years from then in one of the other days, because it's not like he can just time travel on his lunch break real quick. He would have to actually go to the location of the caves, time travel, go to the place he needs to be, and then go back, or whatever, in order to make the, all the things that he's doing in the different timelines.
Well, yeah, he's a human being that needs to sleep and everything.
Right.
And
Hence why he needs followers and all that.
Right. But I don't think that. I think what you're getting at is important from a practical, time-based perspective here.
Right. No fast travel.
But what I'm talking about is that he's already established as a priest at that point in 1986.
Right.
And he's new, but it's the idea that, like, he went through all the process to become the new priest that then someone would casually talk about at that point.
Correct.
Meaning that he's either, and this is where I would kind of assume things are, is that he found out about time travel very early in his life.
Right. Bartosz.
I know that Bartosz is a pretty decent theory, but then he lived a large portion of that life, basically,
right,
traveling to and from
as
it.
I am the Noah, the knight of time, and
right. And I don't think he would do that as a kid necessarily.
Well, yeah, it's something that you very much like grow into, like the just the shot that we see of him when he's cleaning up the blood, and he's all like muscled and everything, and he has the back tattoos and whatnot.
Yeah,
that's not something where you just like went into this on a whim or something. Like this is a thing that you have dedicated your whole life to.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And basically with the idea that he's then told Bartosz in 2019, everything you predicted happened, unless someone from 2019 went back to interact with him at a point when he was just living during that point in time to tell him what then happened here. He is from the future. This like confirms it 100%.
Right. Oh yeah, exactly. It's either he's Bartosz and this is
him talking to himself.
Him talking to himself to set him on the path, right?
Right.
Or it's not. And that's where some of the and I think
I don't think Bartosz being himself is a bad theory. I just don't think there's any really strong legs to it in an immediate sense if we assume that 2052 is another time point that we have yet to explore. If 2052 is another time point that we have yet to explore, then Noah absolutely doesn't need to be anybody that we've currently seen thus far.
So I think there's a very good chance that it's not going to be a 2052 thing.
Okay.
For a few reasons.
Okay.
One, the thing that future Jonas drew in the apartment that we got Regina get to see with the 3 timelines. But 2, given the things that we've seen about or we've heard about Noah of like being married to Agnes Nielsen for 15 years and things like that, that makes me think that it's you find out about the time travel and you then live your life and stuff in various different timelines, but it's not going to be that like you get to the future to then age to get to the point that we see him now, right? He's doing that also in other times.
No, I get what you're saying there, but that's where future Jonas had to have come from.
That, or he's just been doing this for a while.
No, because he has to travel 33 years.
No. But I'm saying if you're
yes, you're saying yes. I get what you're saying, that he's lived basically enough time through time travel.
Through a bunch of slices, it's added up to 33 years so that he can get back to the point where he is now or whatever, right? But however much of that was time travel versus just like, okay, then 15 years from now he decides to time travel and he spends another 18 trying to do shit.
Well, right, but even if he's spending a day in 53 and then a day in 86 and then a day in 2019, those are all days that are actually happening.
Right, exactly.
He's moving away from these crucial points.
Right. And that's why you'd have to be very organized.
But that's
in
not
order
enough
to do
time.
all this stuff.
No, because that's not enough time. If he ends up living all that time, that's what I'm saying. You kind of have to leave the I lived this timeline thing to the really old people, because they'd have to, like you were saying, live 33 years to be able to then cycle back to that moment with your knowledge.
No, right. And that's why if you were, because my understanding of it is if you're wanting to do this kind of stuff, right, you're in future Jonas's position or the theoretical position that Noah was in or whatever, right? Yeah. Then you're basically saying, okay, I know that it would be a whole enchilada to get back to the time that I was originally from, or where I started.
Or just where I am right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I'm not worrying about that. I'm going then into the past to time so that I can do things back then to then set up that time.
Current self
I'm
or
not,
future self.
I'm not actually going back and revisiting the time where I wanted things to change. I'm going before that to try and make it so that then.
Except he is. In 2019, he's going around doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
Oh, no, right. And that's, yes. But what I'm saying is in order to get to that point, right?
Yes, he would have had to live past 2019 a long way, 33 years.
No, because if he time travels, then he could be living past 2019 in a different time point.
Okay, so let's go that angle. He lives 16 years. Right? 16 and a half years.
Okay.
He then time travels back, and he's in between a lot of the spots where people are time traveling in general.
Sure, yeah.
And then he lives out that little bit there. That's a hack for it.
Well, no, right, but it doesn't need to be 16 and a half. It could be any amount of time, and you could keep going between the points in time and keep doing stuff.
I guess, but then you'd basically end up... Oh, no. Okay, let's go with that. Yes, let's go with that. He then needs to still... Yeah, no, you're right. Because that's the way it works.
Effectively, you have time continuing to do its thing, and then you can choose to be either, here, or here. But the 3 dots are all moving like this, right? And so it's just, okay. And if you go back to here, you can wait to potentially then hop into this one, right? At the specific time or whatever, but really it's going to be doing all that stuff to then try and change the stuff that's ahead, because it doesn't. If you're trying to change things, you don't need to be there at the exact time. You just need to be there before and then.
Right. Yeah, but you know what's so scary about this then is that people are stuck planning for that point when they'll then be able to go and have all the preparation ready to then go and do the thing, which makes Claudia doing
very very important, but then also it makes for great television, because then you have stakes. You have we've been building up to this for 33 years. We can finally do the thing where at this critical juncture we are actually able to try and influence the big moment, the radioactive spill or whatever, where they're hiding the barrels somewhere. Cool, I found out where they're hiding them. I'm gonna go open them up, because this is gonna just fuck everything over, or whatever, right?
Or he needs to realize how bad everything is, and if this is really it, that could be its own thing there. Right, I also think there's a reason why he opened it, feature Jonas. I think the reason why he's opening it is because of the possibility that it's not
radioactive
there.
Material.
Well, it's not necessarily radioactive material, but it's not all of it.
Sure.
It's the idea that they've been moving it, or they've been transporting it through time or something.
Or there's just other things in there where it's no, these are other people that we've nabbed from different time periods, or things like that.
Yeah, people that are traveling might end up becoming more radioactive or something.
Well,
that's what.
But here's another crazy theory. Okay, if you're fighting a time traveler, right, and they're beating you, you're not able to actually outmaneuver them. They have other people that are working with them or whatever.
You introduce them as a kid to radioactive waste, and you kill them over time.
Sure. Or you become a terrorist.
Well, yes.
And you do... No. Hear me out. Yeah. You do something so unbelievably terrible in the future, where it's all right, we've escalated to the point where we can both agree that shit's bad, and we need to make that not happen. I need to get what I want. Right. You need to get what you want. Right now, I just made it so that there's a meltdown or whatever, a radioactive.
I gave us a timeline.
I gave us a deadline.
Pun very much intended.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. Now we're working on that. So can we negotiate?
Maybe.
Maybe. And then it's all right.
That's proper fucked. But yeah. All right. So much happened this episode. This is the penultimate episode of season 1, though.
Next episode's going to be wild.
A lot is going to happen next episode. I'm so excited. But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You got an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all of this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about other shows in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. So if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.